One skill that all of my favorite drummers have is the ability to lay down a groove and improvise within it. But oftentimes when we mere mortals try to do that same thing, it can feel like we're grasping at straws. Nothing seems to come naturally, and we're unsure of what to do to get into that space or that zone where we're just playing and making things happen the way the masters are able to so effortlessly. But over the years, I found this one particular technique that's very helpful in developing the ability to improvise and live within a groove that I set up. And that's the question and answer technique. You can kind of think about it like having a conversation with yourself on the drums, like a crazy person. The first measure sets up a groove, and the second measure responds to it by adding a little embellishment in that complements it. And like a conversation, the idea is to flow back and forth between the questions and answers and to see what naturally develops. Now, when you first try this out, you're gonna find that it can be much trickier than you anticipate. Chances are you're gonna lay down a groove in the first measure and you're not gonna know quite what to do in the second. And that's because as drummers, we've been trained to think more about the notes we're playing rather than the actual musical phrases that they create. So we need to completely flip the way we think about drumming if we want to improvise effectively. Instead of thinking about all that technical stuff like the notes and patterns and stickings we're using, we gotta instead think about the sound and the feel that all that stuff creates. And as strange as it might sound, a great way to make that shift happen is to actually beatbox your idea before you try to play it. Boom, ba-cha, boom, boom, cha, boom, ba-cha, boom, bzz-da. Boom, ba-cha, boom, boom, cha, boom, ba-cha, boom, boom, ba-cha, boom, boom. Boom, ba-cha, boom, boom, cha, boom, ba-cha, ba-cha, boom, ba-rum. Cha boom, boom, cha boom, cha cha boom, cha do cha cha da boom. Do you see what happened there? By verbalizing the idea, I'm thinking more musically and lyrically rather than relying on all the memorized stuff I already have down. It's not rocket science, but it does take control to juggle laying down a groove and smoothly adding in those embellishments in the second measure. And it also takes a level of taste to choose things to add in that make musical sense. Now, once you have a few of these ideas under your belt, see if you can string them together and create some longer phrases. Those little additions add life to the groove, and they draw the listener in because they can hear that there's something musical happening, something deeper than just adding random licks and fills. And you'll see, as you start to get better at this approach, some really interesting things will start to happen. For a while, you'll just be going back and forth trying to control some really small ideas. But then, all of a sudden, as that flow state starts to happen, you'll have a phrase pop out at you. And the idea is to take that phrase and develop it. For example, when I was filming for this video, laying down a little bit of that question and answer technique, this little 16th note phrase jumped out at me on the hi-hats. So I did my best to stick with it and ride that creative wave. That is where this approach really starts to take off. When you have a cool idea and a bit of inspiration, run with it. Repeat it, flip it, orchestrate it in a different way, put it in a different spot within the measure. And voila, you're improvising and playing something that you didn't plan on. That's what it's all about. It's a very exciting feeling. And again, this comes from thinking more about the phrases you're creating rather than the notes that you're playing. Everything becomes far more listenable and interesting when you do that. So this week, I want to encourage all of you to try this out. Just start with a simple beat and add simple embellishments into that second bar and ride that creative wave. See where it takes you. All right, that's going to do it for this one, everybody. I really hope that you enjoyed it. For those of you who want to take this a step further, I'll have some example question and answer solos transcribed and drum looped out for you to work on in the description box. Thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. You take it easy. Bye-bye.